In this video I'm going to show you how to compile an amortization table. The difference between this amortization table and the previous one we did is I'm also going to show you how to change the variables. So for example, if we want to change the interest rate somewhere in the middle, we can do that and it will still be 0 at the last period. We can also add capital payments. So I'm going to show you how to add capital payments to ensure that at the last period it's still 0. So let's start by doing our headings. So our periods is that, then our capital amount. Again, we need our payments, we need our interest, we need additional payments, and then we need our capital portion. Okay, so we can do another one that's got only 60 periods. So we're just going to drag this down until we get to 60. We can start at 100,000 again. So at period 0 it's 100,000. And we can do, we're going to need another column here called interest rates. So we can say our interest rate is going to start at 10%. Okay, now here's where the trick comes in. So remember, your first payment is always in period 1. So let's do that. First payment. So now the trick here is you have to use the closing balances of the previous period. What's the closing balance here? Our rate, the previous period's rate was 10% divided by 12. Our end period, the previous period end period was 60. So we know our total is 60, so I'm just going to say 60 minus the previous period's period. Then our present value is the outstanding capital amount at the end of the previous period. So you always use the previous period's information. Well, we'll be standing in period 1 now, so I'm going to use the 1 for period 0. So that's 2124. So that's our total payment. With the I payment, we're going to do exactly the same, except for one difference. The rate again is going to be the previous period divided by 12. Now I'm not fixing it, because when I copy down, it needs to copy down and take the previous period's balance all the time. Let's just do the easy ones. The end period, again, is 60 minus the previous one. Our present value is the previous period. Now, normally our period would have been the specific period that we're in, either 1, 2, 3, or 4. When you want to do an amortization table that's where you can change the variables, your period should always be 1. Because effectively what you are doing, you are recalculating the interest payment every single time. So every single time you're taking the previous period's capital amount and you're saying, if I've got that specific capital amount outstanding currently, how many periods do I have left? Then you always calculate the interest for the first period. Because in my end period, I'm doing exactly that. I'm saying 60 minus A2. So currently we've got 60 periods left. So we are standing on the first period of this 60 period time frame. And our present value is still 100,000. So for period 1 it's easy. Additional payments, I mean, we don't have to put something there now. So our capital portion is that minus that. And then our capital amount is the previous period's balance plus our capital portion, plus our additional payment. Our interest is just equal to the previous period at this stage. So if we copy this down, it should work. And there we go. So let's just go to another here in the middle. If I go to the formula function bar. So my rate is the previous period's balance. So every single time I'm doing this, I'm effectively recalculating. My period is 1. Because we are saying currently we've got 50 periods left. So I'm saying 60 minus the previous period's balance. So we are saying that we've got 60 periods left and we need to pay off a capital amount of 86591 in 50 periods. So that's why we have to start the period at 1. So now we can add a new payment at any time. So if I want to pay off 10,000 there, it will still be equals to 0. So it just always works. So the biggest trick here is use the previous period's balance and make sure that your PER in your I payment is 1. Then it will always work.